everyone. We're back here live in Houston for Qualys' ROCon conference, day 2. We've been just talking to a bunch of different people already this morning. We got started early. Hope you're enjoying it. Our next guest, Richard Seiersen.
You nailed it.
Well, it's not my first time interviewing you, but okay. If you follow along at home, I actually spoke to Richard last year in San Diego for Qualys Security Conference, QSC. Richard, if I'm not mistaken, you had just joined around then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been here maybe 20 months. I feel like I'm a baby, you know, it's in months, so you
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. No, and I do remember a little of your story, but no one at home is going to remember it.
Right.
Why don't let's start there. Give us a little bit of your journey to being at Qualys here now 20 months.
Sure, great. Well, actually, this is my second stint. I am in a boomerang about 20 years apart. So actually, when I started, Sumedh and I were both Midland engineers. I remember he'd show up in cargo shorts and T-shirts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I went on to do this serial CISO thing, GE, Twilio, Lending Cloud. I've been a chief risk officer in the insurance space, and I've written a few books. But Sumedh and I stayed friends, and when he started on this journey, this new vision on the Risk Operations Center, and more specifically ETM, or Enterprise True Risk Management as a platform, he called me up and said, hey, would you like to join the team? And I was like, this is great, can't wait. And here I am now.
That's fantastic. It is a great story. Now, your official title is not Chief Risk Officer.
It is not.
Chief
Risk Technology Officer. And we owe Sumedh the thanks for that great title.
He came up with
the title. And I think the emphasis really is, because of my background on risk, first and foremost, helping to bring, I guess, the world, particularly CISOs, along on this risk-focused journey. But at the same time, I have a role in helping define technology as well. So being a voice for reason, I suppose, to the world on the risk side, but also helping to guide some of the product as it relates to risk as well. So I do both those things.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. You know what? Been around a while. You learn that you want something that kind of plays to your strength.
Right.
Right. And this is just like a great role that plays to your strengths. And it's good when, things come together like that, because at the same time, Qualys is the risk operations company now.
Right.
This conference is the risk operations conference. So it all fits together nicely. You like to see that in life.
I'm pretty excited. I'm like a dog with two tails. I couldn't be more excited. So
absolutely. Richard, you presented here.
Yes.
And why don't, people watching this live at home probably aren't here by definition, unless, at Quantum, they could be in both places, but as soon as we would know they were, then they wouldn't be. I've been spending a lot of time with some Quantum people lately.
Yes.
Anyway, talk to us about what you spoke about.
Sure. The title of my talk was Risk Yoga. So as the day 2 keynote, so Risk Yoga, turning strategy into measurable action. And so, yeah, I didn't wear any yoga pants, by the way.
Okay.
I taunted people and told them I might do it. But yeah, it was an opportunity to relax and I suppose play with the audience. I actually, there was a yoga theme throughout, but I ended up asking a lot of questions and people would answer, and I would use that to, I suppose, instruct them in new postures, as it were, to use a yoga theme, and how to think about risk, perhaps in ways that might be new to a security practitioner or security leader. And I guess it went well. It seems like
good feedback.
People are still here, so I didn't scare anyone off. But
okay.
Yeah, it was
all right.
Enjoyable.
So, yeah, I'm going to come back to the quantum thing. Even we can't know everything, because almost by definition, once you know it, you don't know it.
Right.
Right. It changes it. How do you, Mr. Yoga professor or instructor, cybersecurity, especially today, seems almost about uncertainty by definition.
Yes.
So if it's about uncertainty, how can we have any certainty?
Right.
It's very, is the cat in the box or not?
Right.
What's your advice
Sure.
to Grasshopper out there, right? About how to deal with this?
That's a great question. So It's when we're uncertain about something, that's actually when we measure. And the more uncertainty there is, the more measurement there is when you stand a lot to lose. When there's high stakes and there's a lot of uncertainty, that's actually where measurement comes from. If you think about statistics, right? When statistics came about because someone had small and messy data and they still had to make a bet. In fact, one of our main statistics today comes from the Guinness Brewery. It's actually considered part of their intellectual property, where they're using very small amounts of data to make forecasts about crop yields, things that go into beer and whatnot. And so small, messy data to make better forecasts. That's the same thing today, even with AI. In many cases, you think, oh, we have all the data. Well, we have sentient and artificially intelligent adversaries on one side. We have a business that's digitally and AI transforming on the other. And here we are in the middle. So we're just surrounded by uncertainty, and the stakes are large. I mean, just look what happened with Jaguar Land Rover. You think about Marks and Spencers. We're talking hundreds of millions of billions of dollars of impact. So the question is, if we're going to say, well, if we say it's immeasurable, if someone were to say that to me, what they're saying is all possibilities are equally plausible to me. They're going to say we could be hacked 100% of the time, all the time, or maybe it happens 0% of the time. So, well, what do you do in that case? Well, you say, well, since I'm so uncertain as a security leader, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spread too little butter across way too much bread, right? It's a Tolkien quote. But there's a Sun Tzu quote from this that's really great. He says, he who is everywhere is weak everywhere. So the idea is that a general who's going to deploy forces everywhere ends up being weak everywhere. So in the case of security, while we have a lot of uncertainty, we want to measure so that we can take those resources. Again, we stand in the middle here. We got, again, sentient, artificially intelligent bad guys here. We got digital and AI transformation here, by the way, who typically has 10 to 100x the budget that we have. And here we are in the middle. We have to measure to focus our resources. Sorry, I went a little long, but that was kind of the gist of my talk.
You're a treasure, man. I could listen to you all day talk about this. It's great. So I think you've outlined the problem and the environment that we're dealing with. Now, some may say, look, you got to fight fire with fire.
Right.
You got the AI stuff here. You got this transformation, which is AI powered here. I got to have AI here too.
Yes.
Is that the answer?
Well, I mean, I don't know if when we say, is that the answer? I mean, is that the answer to all of our security drama and dilemma? I would say,
I always look for the magic bullet, but
right.
there's no Santa Claus
right.
either.
Very good. Yeah. No, agree. So, yes, we have to use AI. Here's something that's distinctive about Qualys. We're using AI. We also happen to have about 120 to 100, somewhere between 120 and 150 researchers, not just researchers, award-winning security researchers. They just won 2 Pony Awards back at DEF CON.
Yep.
They've done this 2 or 3 other times as well. So we have this elite team. What you want to be able to do is take that team, use them to actually do reinforcement learning with your AI models on somewhat of a continuous basis. Then obviously bringing in all that massive amount of data from, in our case, enterprise true risk management. You want to have all of that working together. So it's not just AI by itself, but you want the AI plus the human expert discernment to work together. So this is one of the reasons why I'm here, is because I think this is part of the, I guess it's the data or AI or measurement moat that Qualys has, is that an opportunity to work with just what I'd call a cesspool of security IQ, and these guys bring that together with AI and data to make a big difference. So it takes the people and the AI together.
So you're not even talking human in the loop. You're talking a true partnership.
Like almost like a cyborg. They're putting on this, I don't know. Yeah,
No,
part human.
on that though, we'll get killed over here. Yeah, we might. I mean, so that's human enhancement.
Yeah.
Right. And that may be, something we're going to see coming down here. But I think right now we're still in that partnership phase where, look, AI does what AI does.
Yes.
And we're going to use, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Like every other tool humanity's used since, Homo erectus or something. But we also have to recognize that there are certain things that the human still has to do.
Yeah.
That, it's going to take a human, right? And I think that's where we are today. Now, we're seeing the rise of agentic AI become much more prevalent, even than generative AI. Right? You talk to some of these people who are really into AI, they'll tell you generative AI is yesterday's news, right?
Right.
How's that changed the equation?
Well, that might be marketing people. I mean, so generative models, by the way, not to get overly nerdy, but generative models are a thing. And so the idea where you could have some learning off some data, and based on that, the model can then extrapolate, make inferences, and even generate new data, new scenarios. That's a generative process. So that doesn't go away ever.
No, I think that's table stakes.
Yeah.
For the age, because without it, the agents can't operate. They're not autonomous.
Right.
They're just APIs.
Yeah. So just some assumptions in the modeling there, but yeah, agentic AI, the idea that you can have composable models that, we use this word autonomous.
Right.
I think that it's autonomous with constraints, right? You want it to make reasoned inferences and then take deterministic and safe actions.
Yep.
Right. And so again, when I go back to this idea of that we have all these researchers, we can look at things like MITRE attack paths, right? We can look at the combination of attack paths and controls. By the way, the combination of attack paths plus controls plus exposure, that's a mathematically massive, we humans cannot reason over that complexity. Great, we have AI for that. But AI is only going to be as good as the assumptions that are put
underlying it.
So again, I want to go back to the idea that it's really, maybe you call it human in the loop, perhaps you call it reinforcement learning, but for us, and again, this is where I think it's a Qualys distinctive, is that we have this elite set of humans, these researchers, award-winning researchers, bringing them together with massive amounts of data. We have this giant data lake, right? Bringing that together with agentic AI becomes the sort of scenario where you can start saying, okay, this is how you can start looking at not only just the deterministic action you can take or have the models take, patch this, block this, but also start saying, all right, given your environment, given these attack paths, given these adversaries, here's how we can start rank ordering how you go about purchasing controls, how you go about making investments, at what rate do you roll those out, given your financial constraints, what's the most optimized approach you can take so that you avoid spreading too little butter across too much bread, but you start focusing on the risk that matters. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm excited about what Qualys is doing.
Absolutely. Hey, last question. I'm going to go off the reservation a bit,
Sure.
okay? I mentioned quantum a few times.
Sure.
Quantum and security, post-quantum cryptography, and there's been a lot of buzz around, hey, we need to be getting ready for quantum. It may be 3 years out, 5 years out, maybe more.
Right.
Not much more.
Right.
What do you, in your role at Qualys, this is kind of something on your desk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you seeing on that?
So it's kind of interesting with what's happened with crypto most recently. But as I looked at it, there's something like maybe 50%, if not 1/3 of crypto will be completely exposed. I think there's more recent changes where they're saying, well, okay, we'll have some protection here. Again, I'm not a crypto expert. Don't claim to be, not even on TV, even though this is TV. But I think as a risk leader, we do need to be thinking about that. So what is plausible in terms of, in fact, even thinking about the future. I'll say this, and I talked about this on my talk. I'm going to kind of go off the reservations, but prediction markets, are you familiar with prediction markets?
Yeah, sure.
Right? Big thing, ties to crypto as well. But people making bets, like prediction markets significantly outperformed the pollsters in the last election.
In the presidential election.
Yeah, great. Where they failed, by the way, was on forecasting who could be the next Pope, by the way. I don't know if people were betting on the Pope thing. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, they bet on that.
Whatever it is, right? They're gonna, but the idea of taking that same approach, all right, so given what we know about crypto, given what we know about the current state of the world, how can we start measuring and creating really, that's already modeling, how can we think in a relatively mathematically unambiguous way that retains our uncertainty without obscuring what certainty we do have, make the best bets. That is what risk management should be doing.
Sure.
And yes, I am thinking about that stuff. I'm thinking a lot more, though, right now about AI and what that means than crypto.
Why I think AI becomes the force multiplier or maybe it's the other. Maybe when Q-Day does come, and we do have quantum combined with AI, though,
Right.
I think they're too volatile.
Right.
You get
Well,
crazy.
Sounds like more employment. I don't know, more security.
Job security
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
security teams. Well, if they don't replace us with AI robots or humanoid, whatever, physical AI is
Right, right.
calling it. Richard, thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much, Alan.
coming on.
All
Always
right.
a pleasure.
Likewise.
This guy's great. Do check him out. Your books are still out there too and everything else. It's getting a little loud here, but I'm hoping you could hear us. We're live at Qualys ROCon. We'll be back in a moment.